In today's Photoshop lesson, I want to show you a few tips that I use so I can get multiple images on one sheet of paper using Photoshop's print setup dialog box. So let's say, for instance, we want to make a print of this photo. So what do? Of course, we go to File and we go down to Print, and up comes the, over here, Photoshop Printer Settings. There's the dialog box. So we just go over here to the printer settings and we start right here at the top. Pick the printer. I have the Epson 2000. I want one copy. Now you do have to go through these printer settings. If you use ICC profiles, there's a couple things you have to do. But first of all, let's just go to the, we're going to print it on luster paper, so that's correct. We want to print it in color. We want to print quality options. Let's just do quality. We'll print quality. Now here's the big trick for Epson printers. On Canons you have to do the same thing, but it's slightly different. We have to go down here. We don't want the standard or the Adobe or the Epson Vivid or any of this stuff. We want to turn it off. Boom. Off. No color adjustments. And we're telling the Epson printer, we don't want you involved in the printing. You can have the paper, you make that decision, but we want to do all the color adjustments in Photoshop. As we go down, we're going to print a regular sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. So all these settings are good. Over here is a summary of these settings. We got the levels of the quality and speed, high speed, and all that sort of thing. So we're all good to go there. Now, if we click OK, we've told the printer that you're out of the equation. That means we have to go over here. Let's check. Printer settings is good. I'm going to leave this on portrait right now. Color management. Okay. We have to have this on Photoshop manages color, not printer manages color, because printer manages color is what we just told it not to do. So Photoshop manages color. We have to pick the ICC profile. In this case, here are my Epson 2000 profiles, and we want to do the luster one because we're using luster paper. Okay, we want normal printing, and you have two basic choices here for rendering intent. One choice is perceptual, which is used a lot, and relative colorimetric. I'm going to use relative colorimetric, but either one seems to work fine. You can kind of switch those around, see which one you like the best, and black point should be checked, just like it is here, a little checkbox. Okay, now what we want to do is make a little test print. We want to put multiple prints on the same sheet of paper, one at a time, not all at the same time. So we want to see we got position and size in this area right here. Okay, we're going to turn this off for now. That allows us to move it around. And this is the scale. See the scale box within the parameters here? This is scale. Now we're going to turn that off, the scale to fit media. Now what we do know is we want that the scale to be maybe like the height of this, like this high. Let's make it 2.5 inches. Okay, now we have a smaller print. You can see where that's going to go. And now where are we going to put it? Well, not in the center because that hogs the whole page. Let's just take it here, shove it up to the top. Now we could just move this by hand. See, I can just move it anywhere I want in the page. But if I want to just go up here to the top, I can just swipe that and type in 0. And on the left, I can type in 0. So now I know it's going to show up in the left corner. Let's see if I work my way down. Everything else is good. So now I'm going to click on print. Click. Pretend like I clicked on print. I'm really click on done. Okay, now the print comes out of the printer. Now this is a small test print, but it is on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So what I want to do now is look at the print. Does it look good? No. It looks too dark. How come that happens so much? I don't know. But to make the print look better, we have to lighten this photo up. So I'm going to go down here to adjustment layer, and let's pick curves. Okay, there's the properties, curves. I'm just going to shove the middle up a little bit. Can you all see the photo getting brighter? Maybe about that much. I don't know. We have to experiment. I'll say that much. Now if I want to see how bright that is, I'm going up here and I can turn this eye on and off. or off and on. So that's how much adjustment. Well, that looks like plenty of adjustment. So let's print it again and see how it looks. So what do? Now the shortcut key is Control P for print. So I hit Control P. There we go. Up comes the printer dialog box. Now it stayed the same. Everything's the luster paper and the relative color metric and all the settings in the print settings have all stayed the same, which is good. But I don't want to print here because it's right on top of the other photo. So I want to move it over. So the top is good, but the left, let's see, how wide was this? 3.8. So let's make it like, let's say 8.5. Let's go left like 4.2. You notice how I shoved it over to the left? If I want to go even a little more, I can actually hit the up arrow. And notice how it creeps over. If I go too far, I can hit the down arrow, and that kind of brings it back. Now I know it's safely on the print. Okay, now guess what? I'm going to hit print again. Boom. Pretend like I hit print. I really didn't. I'm not going to hit print. I'm going to hit done. But that's I can't show you the print. Now we look at the print that comes out of the printer, and let's say, oh, that looks really good. I love that print. It's beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and print it for real this time. I want to fit it onto a sheet of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that is fills the paper as big as we can. Okay, let me just push this out of the way. By the way, if the print didn't look so good, we could readjust and get the color again and reprint it again. So here we go. I'm going to hit Control P again. Okay, up comes the printer dialog box, and like I said, if the print didn't come out so good and we readjusted it, we can move this down, put it over here. If we want to actually position it, we could use our numbers here. The location, we know the print's 2.5 high, so it's probably got to be about 3 down, and the left would be against the side. But we're assuming the print came out fine, and we want to fill the page with it. So in that case, we'll hit it in the center, we'll scale it to fit, and there we go, except there's one thing wrong. We have a lot of white space because we have a portrait piece of paper, but a landscape photo, but that's okay. We're just going to go up here and click on this thing right here, the little landscape guy, and that will change it around. Okay, now we have landscape, and sure enough, we can click on print, and that'll fill this whole page paper with our image. Okay. Now let's pretend, let me say done again. That would bring us back to the same place. Now let's pretend we want to print a 5 by 7. Okay, well let's see how big this image, 13 by 8.5, that doesn't help. Let's go to image size, and type in, the width would be 7, right? And it's 7 wide by 4.5. So this is not a 5 by 7 photo. So we'll just say OK for here. We want to crop this. I'll hit C for crop. I'm going to go get the ratio would be 5 by 7. That's a vertical. I'm going to switch that by clicking on this double-headed back and forth arrow. There we go. And I want to kind of do the whole image. So I'm going to extend the crop out. Okay. And that looks fine. I'm gonna. You can either double click or click the checkbox. Look, my crop was off a little bit. Let me try that one more time. We'll crop it a little smaller so I don't have those white lines on the bottom. There we go. Okay, now we got a good 5 by 7. Let's double check it. This time I'm going to use a shortcut key to get the image size, and I'm going to do that. And now I hit Shift Control I. I'm going to tap the letter 7, and there it is, 7 by 5. Okay. Now when we make the print, we're going to make a 5 by 7. So remember the shortcut? Control P. Okay. Now let's see what we got. All this stays the same as far as the color and all that sort of stuff. Position center. Well, we don't want it center. We want it on the top of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper because we want to make 2 5 by 7s on this sheet. So we don't want in the scale to fit. No, we don't want that either. Maybe we want it to be 100%. That gives us the 5 by 7, and it's a landscape piece of paper, but we really want the portrait piece of paper. There we go. I'll click right in here. Remember where I clicked that? Right in there. That changes it to a portrait, and now all we have to do is push this to the top. Now the easiest way for me to do that, take off the center, swipe that, type in a 0. That pushed it right to the top. Okay, good. Now we have a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with a 5 by 7 print that's going on the top of it. And I'm going to click print. Boom, pretend like I click print. I'm really going to click done. Okay, now we're done with that first print, and there it is. Half of the sheet is covered with this photo, which came out good. Now I want one for myself. That was for a buddy, and now I want one for myself. If I want to print the exact same thing with no changes, there is a little shortcut that Photoshop gives us, and that is File, Print One Copy. Boom, I can just click on Print One Copy. Now what I need to do is to flip the paper over so the white side goes in first, of course not the print. And if I print one copy, boom, I will get the exact same print as I just printed, and now I'll have two prints on one sheet of paper. So I know this print dialog, I'm going to hit Control P again, this print dialog can be a little tricky. This area right in here with position, size, and that sort of thing. But I think if you play around with it, you'll get the hang of what it can do, and all the little tips that I tried to show you today can be beneficial for making multiple prints on one sheet of paper. Well, thanks for watching.